Mr. Trump, I have a question for you. Presidents have to, on the one hand, be firm, but also be flexible. You've been flexible and changed your opinion on a number of things, from abortion to Hillary Clinton. But you've said, rightly, that it's just like Ronald Reagan, who changed his mind on things. But at the same time, you're criticizing Senator Cruz for what you say is a change on immigration. He disputes that, of course. So why is your change of opinion make you like Reagan, and when he changes his opinion, it's a huge character flaw?
John, in life, you have flexibility. You do have flexibility. When you're fighting wars, you're going one way, you have a plan. It's a beautiful plan. It can't lose. The enemy makes a change, and all of a sudden you have to change. You have to have flexibility. And Ronald Reagan, though, in terms of what we're talking about, was the great example. He was a somewhat liberal Democrat who became a somewhat pretty strong conservative. He became, most importantly, became a great president. He made many of the changes that I've made. I mean, I've seen, as I grew up, I've seen, and as I get older and wiser, and I feel that I am a conservative. Now, I also feel I'm a common sense conservative because some of the views I don't agree with. And I think a lot of people agree with me, obviously, based on what's happening.
Which conservative idea don't you agree with?
Well, I think these people always hit me with eminent domain. And frankly, I'm not in love with eminent domain, but eminent domain is something that you need very strongly. When Jeb had said, you used eminent domain privately for a parking lot, it wasn't for a parking lot. The state of New Jersey, too bad Chris Christie's not here, he could tell you, the state of New Jersey wanted to build a very large tower that was going to employ thousands of people. I mean, it was going to really do a big job in terms of economic development. Now, just so you understand, I got hit very hard. It's private eminent domain. You understand that they took over a stadium in Texas and they used private eminent domain, but he just found that out after he made the charge.
All right. Governor Bush, I think by they, he's referring to your brother.
Yeah.
You're on the hook for your brother.
Well, Jeb wouldn't have known about it.
So there's all sorts of intrigue about where I've disagreed with my brother. There'd be one right there. You should not use eminent domain for private purposes, a baseball stadium or a parking lot for limos.
You shouldn't have used it then, Jeb.
It's
But
very
that was his
different.
brother.
Transmission lines, pipelines, bridges, highways, all of that is proper use of eminent domain, not to take an elderly woman's home to build a parking lot so that high rollers can come from New York City to failed casinos in Atlantic City. That is not the appropriate thing to do.
Senator Cruz, you were mentioned in the mix here. Your response.
You know, flexibility is a good thing, but you shouldn't be flexible on core principles. I like Donald. He is an amazing entertainer, but his policies for most of his life.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
For most of his life, his policies have been very, very liberal. For most of his life, he has described himself as very pro-choice and as a supporter of partial birth abortion. Right now, today, as a candidate, he supports federal taxpayer funding for Planned Parenthood. I disagree with him on that. That's a matter of principle, and I'll tell you.
You are the single biggest liar. You probably are worse than Jeb Bush. You are the single biggest liar.
All right.
This guy lied. Let me just tell you, this guy lied about Ben Carson when he took votes away from Ben Carson in Iowa, and he just continues. And today, we had robocalls saying Donald Trump is not going to run in South Carolina, where I'm leading by a lot. I'm not going to run. Vote for Ted Cruz. This is the same thing he did to Ben Carson. This guy will say anything. Nasty guy. Now I know why he doesn't have one endorsement from any of his colleagues.
All right, John, I get to
Senator Cruz,
respond.
pick from the buffet there.
He's a nasty guy.
I will say. I will say it is fairly remarkable to see Donald defending Ben after he called him pathological and compared him to a child molester, both of which were offensive and wrong. But let me say more broadly, you notice Donald didn't disagree with the substance, that he supports taxpayer funding for Planned Parenthood. And Donald has this weird pattern. When you point to his own record, he screams, liar, liar, liar. If you want to go
Where did I support it? Where did I support it?
Hey,
Ted, where did I support it?
If you want to go and watch the video, go to our website,
Ted,
tedcruz.org.
where did I support it, Ted?
Out of Donald's own mouth.
Where did I support it?
You supported it when we were battling over defunding Planned Parenthood. You went on television and said Planned Parenthood does wonderful things and we should not defund them.
It does do wonderful things, but not as it relates to abortion.
So tell me, what are the wonderful things? What are the wonderful things it does?
There are wonderful things having to do with women's health.
You see, you and I disagree on that.
Not when it comes to abortion.
Principle matters.
That's where I draw the line.
John, the reason principle matters. The reason principle matters, sadly, was illustrated by the first questions today. The next president is going to appoint 1, 2, 3, 4 Supreme Court justices. If Donald Trump is president, he will appoint liberals. If Donald Trump is president, your Second Amendment will go away.
Hold on, before.
And you know how I know that?
Hold on, gentlemen.
Ted
I'm going to
Cruz
turn this
wanted
car around.
John Roberts, Ted Cruz, with your brother, wanted John Roberts to be in the United States Supreme Court. They both pushed him. He twice approved Obamacare.
All right, gentlemen.
Good going, man.
My name was
Hold on.
my name was mentioned twice.
Well, hold on. We're going to, gentlemen, we're in danger of driving this into the dirt.
You gave us
Senator
Obamacare.
Rubio, I'd like you to. You want to jump in
called
here?
me a liar.
I understand.
Let me say something.
You're on deck, Governor.
He also denigrated
And he also
one
made
of my
an
heroes,
allegation
Ronald
about
Reagan.
me.
Ronald Reagan was a liberal maybe in the 1950s. He was a conservative reform governor for 8 years before he became president, and no one would suggest he made an evolution for political purposes. He was a conservative, and he didn't tear down people like Donald Trump did. He tore down the Berlin Wall.
Okay, Governor.
And he's a great guy.
Governor, Senator Cruz, 30 seconds on this one.
I did not nominate John Roberts. I would not have nominated
You
John
pushed
Roberts.
him. You
I
pushed him.
supported
You
him
worked
once
with
he
him
was
and you
appointed.
pushed him. Why do you lie?
Donald,
Why do you
adults
lie?
learn not to interrupt each other.
Why do you lie?
Donald learned.
You pushed him.
Donald, adults learn not to interrupt each other.
Yeah, I know. You're an adult.